Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 713 Houston Sportcast. I'm your host, Ruben Calvillo. I'm with my boy Cody, fellow Texans YouTuber. I'm with my boy Ricardo. And today we're going to be talking about the conference call. Well, one part of the conference call that the Houston Texans had. First off, guys, if you want to come on the show, hit me up on Twitter, DM me. We will make something happen. I already have a couple people having. We made some videos. But let's get on in this video. So, boys, we all know the Houston Texans had a phone conference with season ticket holders. And I watched the whole thing, and I was getting furious. I was getting mad because it sounds like, like they're just trying to get them to stay and hold on with money. And then Bill O'Brien said this one, I know you're mad, but we're not trying to win in March and April. We're trying to win in January. Don't worry, we have a trick up our sleeves. And it had me thinking, what trick does O'Brien have up his sleeve? Are we gonna trade JJ? I told Cody about this. He was like, "There's no way we trade JJ." And I agree, right? I agree. He brings in too much money. And then I thought about, what if it's David Johnson? And let me keep on. The DeAndre Hopkins and David Johnson have not passed their physicals yet. And that is something that needs to be watched. And here's why I say this. Arizona's going to pass DeAndre Hopkins even if he has a broken leg. They're going to pass that man with flying colors because they want him. And the Houston Texans, everybody got fleeced. We got fleeced. Let's be honest. Stephon Diggs got 5 picks, and we got barely 2. And it got me thinking, what if Bill O'Brien fails David Johnson's physical on purpose, and then the trade is nullified? Then we basically have the Arizona Cardinals by the nuts. Because here's why I say that. The Arizona Cardinals, they've made videos about DeAndre Hopkins. They photoshopped him in jerseys. They painted murals around him at Arizona. He said, Arizona, I'm coming. People cannot buy the DeAndre Hopkins jersey just yet, so they are customizing their jerseys. They have fell into a trap where if we don't, if the physical is failed and David Johnson is gone, they are going to look worse than we are. And it plays right into our hand. Bill O'Brien should fail David Johnson's physical and tell them, you're either going to give me more, and what I mean by more is that 8th pick. You're still going to give me that 2nd, or I am going to give DeAndre Hopkins to somebody else because DeAndre Hopkins is not coming back. He's mentally checked out of Houston. He doesn't want nothing a part of us. Okay, cool. Arizona, David Johnson fails. He's back there. We could still do the trade, but if you don't give me that 8th pick and that 2nd for David Johnson's contract, I'm going to send Hopkins somewhere else, and that puts pressure on the Arizona Cardinals. And if the fans are going to put pressure, this could potentially be a blockbuster. It should have been a blockbuster trade before that benefited both parties. This could benefit us now. Arizona, I think they counted their chickens before they hatch. I made a video about this last week or 2 weeks ago. I took it off because it said that they agreed upon. But now we saw a report that says no physicals have been made because of this coronavirus. And Bill O'Brien, he's taking the criticism, right? The whole nation is making fun of this man since there's no sports. And if there's one thing about Bill O'Brien, is he cannot take criticism. We've seen him blow up with Tom Brady. We've seen him curse out a fan during halftime. Criticism is something that Bill O'Brien cannot handle. You can erase that by doing what I'm talking about. You fail the physical, and then things open up, and now you have all the leverage. And other teams need wide receivers. The Dolphins have 3 first-round picks. They're about to get a rookie QB, and what's better than giving them an all-pro wide receiver? The Eagles have been needing a wide receiver for the past 5 years. The Vikings just lost Stephon Diggs. We have a chance, guys. We have a chance to bring back something for the Houston Texans, a first-round pick. If it's the Cardinals and you get that 8th pick, oh my gosh, things change for the Houston Texans because now you're looking at an Isaiah Simmons. My thing is, if we do manage to get all this, and Isaiah Simmons is there, I don't know how you don't take him. If he's not there, you trade back and acquire picks. This is something that the Houston Texans definitely need to consider and bring the faith back in Houston. Cody, what do you think about this?
So he should absolutely fail the physical. I didn't want to bring David Johnson in even before Hop was involved. I didn't think he had any left. I think he's washed. Does Bill O'Brien have the nuts to do it? Absolutely not. The other part of that conference call was him just revving up David Johnson. He's going to be a great three-down back for us. He's going to fit in nicely. And he's David Johnson's O'Brien's type of guy. He's going to come into practice. As long as he's not hurt, he's going to work. He's going to do everything. He's not going to talk. All that diva shit that, O'Brien hates, right? So I don't see this happening at this point. I would love the 8th pick. Isaiah Simmons is gone at 4. The New York Giants love him, but I get what you're saying. Derek Brown's a different story. If he's there, you definitely need to take a look if you were to get that pick. But my thoughts we got David Johnson. He won't fail it because if he fails it, I don't believe if they were to work out other compensation, I don't think he could get David Johnson back after the failed physical. I could be wrong on that. I'm not positive. But yeah, I think we're just stuck with what we got at this point.
You see, here's the thing. You could still fail David Johnson and still get him back and put him on the physically unable to perform list, miss OTAs, miss voluntary workouts, training camp, hey, boom, he passed. Okay. I think this is not only a smart move, this is the only move that you need to do. Ricardo, what say you?
Well, first of all, when we made the when we made the trade, I was all on board. As you can see in the group chat, I was like, man, if we get a healthy Devin Johnson and we don't give up that much, and we get to keep D-Hop, Bill O'Brien must be the best GM in the world. Because I like Devin Johnson, and you could tell that what's his face, Bill O'Brien was a fan of David Johnson. But once my attitude changed once they added D-Hop.
Absolutely.
And I was like, everybody was like, what? Okay. But then you playing too much into thinking that Bill O'Brien is a genius. I don't think he's that much of a genius. I think you gotta remember who was the conference the season ticket holder. So, my opinion, he was telling them what they wanted to hear, not what really planned, because they're saying that a bunch of ticket holders are backing out, upgrade, or canceling the subscription, and they're like, "Hey, stick with me. I have a plan here. I know you're mad right now, but at the end of the day, we're gonna win." And honestly, I believe he was just telling them what they wanted to hear.
No, but here's the thing, though. Like, he keeps on saying we have him planned. I'm pretty sure he didn't think about this when he traded David Johnson. For David Johnson. Now seeing the criticism, man, everybody is on him saying that he's going to be the downfall of Houston. He should not have this much power. He's not even a good head coach. And I'm thinking maybe he's hearing it. And maybe he does this. Like I said to you, Cody, man, this is the only move that you do. I don't know, like, this excites the fans. Yeah. And say you don't send him to Arizona. Okay, Eagles have a first-round pick. They have a second-round pick. Get both of them. They get an all-pro. And now you have picks to benefit your future.
You're absolutely right. Look, my main problem with the Hop trade was compensation back. Everybody on the team is expendable except for Deshaun Watson, but at the right price. You don't trade an all-pro, 3-time all-pro wide receiver for a chunk change. You just don't do it. Now, look, I understand this draft is one of the strongest classes we've seen for wide receiver on paper right now, right? doesn't matter. You wait. There was no rush to make this trade. You wait, and once one team doesn't get the receiver they want in the draft, oh look, Hop's on the trade block. You know, might not get a pick for this year, but you get a first round pick for next year. There's no rush to make this trade. So, getting back to what you were saying, the smart move obviously is to fail the physical, get the 8th pick at least. Is he smart enough to do that? Probably not. I don't think. I really think O'Brien, like me, we were talking about this yesterday. O'Brien, or the other day in the video, O'Brien loves this David Johnson. He loves him. I don't think he's going to fail this physical to get the 8th pick. I don't think he's smart enough to do that. I think Rick Smith would be smart enough to do that, and I don't really like Rick Smith, but we've seen him do it before.
Lane Johnson.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have any faith for him to actually pull that off. I think his next big move is something in a draft day trade, maybe trading someone like McKinney for another pick. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in this guy. So,
and Kenneth, welcome to the stream,
up,
bro.
brothers?
We were just talking about, what me and you talked about earlier in the day. Texans failing David Johnson's physical and going for that 8th pick.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'll be excited for it, but like Cody's saying, man, like I don't have too much faith in Bill O'Brien either. But hey, like if that happens, I feel like that'll help the fans like be back on board. Basically, like let's say like if they feel David Johnson and they get that 8th pick, that 8th pick is gonna be very, very valuable. Like I believe, like I know Ruben, you would like to trade back, but I think like I talked to you about earlier, if it's possible, I don't know if it would be possible for Isaiah Simmons to fall to the 8th pick. Like, man, like I hope we can go all in on him. But I believe they say he should be top 5. But man, like I believe we can get a good player. We can probably get a great defensive player at that 8th pick. If not, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to go right receiver. You know what I'm saying? If we can get a great defensive player at that 8th pick, like let's go all in. Like you need young talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a lot of rookies that come in the game, especially when they under the right coach and they be like successful right away. Like the not Nick Bosa brother, Nick Bosa, I'm tripping. Nick Bosa himself, that man came in as a rookie and dogged the league. Like you would have sworn he was the best player on their defense. And I talked about this before. Like you would have sworn he was the best player on the defense, and they was a top 3 defense. And like TJ Watt, when he came in the league, he was dogging. You got rookies that come in and they ball, bro. So like I said, I think if we can get that if that can happen, man, I hope we can go all in on defense. To be honest, I'm kind of like switching towards defense because I feel like their receiver. It's not hard to find receivers, Like you got a lot of receivers that be slept on. Like Landry was slept on. Odell was slept on. If we being honest, ain't nobody think Odell was gonna come in the league and do what he did. Now he did get injury prone, start getting hurt, but sometimes like receivers, they be slept on and they can fall and they can, you can get a quality receiver and they can ball out. But defensive wise, bro, it's hard to find that special player. Like sometimes you get lucky by like Justin Reed, we got lucky he fell to the third round, but that don't always happen. Like for defense, you gotta have talent. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel.
And here's why I think this might be a possibility, right? If I think Bill O'Brien listens or hears the media, if he didn't, he wouldn't have this conference call.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
You have to think about that. And plus, there is a burner account out there. There is a Bill O'Brien or Jack East to be burner account.
Is it really his account? Like, I really be wondering.
It sounds like it's a real Bill O'Brien burner.
They do be sounding like some Bill O'Brien was saying. Like, yeah.
I think it's a mixture of both.
I mean, if it's a mixture of both, we have to hammer this in. We, failed David Johnson. And like you said, Cody, he loves David Johnson. You could still get him.
You're right. Does he?
He's most likely going to get killed.
That's where the real question is. Is he smart enough to do that? He thinks he's smart enough to do that. I think he, different story. So, but go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I mean, you're good. And I'm sorry if I feel fired up, man. We got screwed, man.
Yes.
We got screwed. This is the only option because think about it. if you get the first and the second, and you still get the seconds, right? Maybe swap third round picks just for the hell of it. You're now looking at 4 picks in the top 80, and in the top 80 available players in the draft. This will be monumental for us. Like I said, the only problem is, will this man do it? And if we hammer it, so Pro Football Focus has talked about failing David Johnson. Other people have talked about failing David Johnson. We just gotta hope and pray that he is listening to that. And if he does pass David Johnson, that right there is a huge failure. Because you could get more. Even if it's not the first pick, even if it's a first round pick next year, even if it's a extra third round pick, something has to be more than just an injured running back and a second round pick. Yes, Kenneth. I'm sorry.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The only thing that will make it right is if we get that first, bro. Like, unless you finna give us, like you say, like a defensive player off that team, maybe
Chandler Jones.
Like, unless you're gonna do that, but honestly, bro, if you're not giving us that first pick, it's everybody know we got robbed. Honestly, we got robbed. I don't even think getting Chandler Jones will be. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if that's even towards D-Hop. If you get what I'm saying.
So here's that thing. If I'm Bill O'Brien and you don't give me that first round pick, Hop's going somewhere else.
Yeah.
You could find running backs in the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he loves David Johnson, he'll love Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, man, bro. I really hope that's possible. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, in the back of my head, like, I hope it's possible we can get that dude. But I'm still leaning towards like first round defensive player. If we in that first round, of course. Like, but if we second round, I don't know. If you feel like you got somebody that can come in and be successful and that's a low key talent, you know what I'm saying, and ball, then okay. But I'm really all in on talent, period. Wherever it is, running back, receiver, outside linebacker, defensive end, inside D lineman. It don't matter, bro. We need talent. A person that's gonna come in and have talent. We ain't got time to grow people. That's the thing. Like, we always, like, most of the time we get players and we gotta, you know what I'm saying, help them grow. And we all see the Texans not good on developing players, to be being honest. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
This isn't baseball. We don't have 7 years. We don't have 7 years for you to get good.
Yeah.
You come in now and ball out.
Yeah.
So, Ricardo, do you see this happening?
Honestly, I wanted to, but I don't see it. I think he's gonna pass it, and we're gonna stay with what he has. And if he does have a plan, it's probably another trade down the line, like 2 weeks before the season starts or something. That's probably gonna bring in a decent player, not a top tier player, but probably a mid-level player, decent probably. But as far as a trade, I think he's gonna stick this just the way it is.
Look, can I mention something real quick? The big problem with this is there's a timetable, right? We have a little over 2 weeks till the draft, and if they haven't got
in our favor too, that works in our favor.
You're right, but the fact that they haven't got it done yet, and it's closing in on a month almost. I don't think they might not even get the physical done before the draft.
So if that happens, the trade is off. It needs to be done by the new league year, and the trade is off.
But we would already have picked with their 40th pick.
No, like we wouldn't, because the trade would be nullified. If physicals aren't done, the trade is done, and now you're back to square one.
It has to be done before the draft, is what you're saying.
It has to be done before the draft. That's why I'm saying this works in our favor. Every day that passes by, we have 18 days before the draft. Every day that goes by works in our favor, works in Bill O'Brien's favor. He fails that physical. Look, for example, if this dude waited 3 days before the draft and failed this physical, he is the most smartest man ever on the planet. Because now you put that pressure.
Yeah.
So
Cardinals they gonna be choking for sure. They gonna be like, oh man, we don't want to lose D-Hop. They definitely
and
you
like I
might
was
get that
telling them,
first.
Kenneth, Arizona has already bought into DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Jerseys are being bought. Like, even though there's no official D-Hop jersey, they're customizing it. Murals are being written about them. Everybody is saying this is going to be the most prolific offense in the NFL with Cliff Kingsbury. You fail that physical, you have all the leverage whatsoever, and you could and now you're in the position to fleece the Arizona Cardinals. The only
Bro.
question, the only question is, will Bill O'Brien, the head coach, the general manager, almost the owner of the Houston Texans,
Man, don't let that happen.
go ahead and do it? If he does it, this is a gutsy move. It is a ballsy move. But that right there is a move that will benefit your franchise for not only this year, but the years to come. Because if we get a Derrick Brown, who's going to be sensational, if we get an Isaiah Simmons, who's going to be an absolute bust, I mean, I'm sorry, not a bust, but an absolute baller, this sets up your defense. And not only that, then you can worry about, hey, adding a running back, adding a wide receiver, adding more things. This takes care of everything. Bill O'Brien, all my subscribers, we're going to be sharing this. We're going to be liking it. We're going to be tweeting about it. We're going to speak it into existence for you to save this franchise, because it does not look good around. This is our only line of hope for the Houston Texans. It's a small sliver of hope, but it is there. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Let me know what the fans think. Should you purposely fail David Johnson's physical? I will go ahead and fail that man. Fail him. F. He couldn't even walk in this building. Get that 8th pick. And now we're in business. As always, guys, this was with Cody. This was with Ricardo. This was with Tardy Kenneth. Y'all have a blessed day.